I wouldn't want to be the guy that's in charge of the rules for 40k.
No.
Being able to be creative and have loads of fun with your mates, but also have a set of rules that kind of refine that fun.
When I saw the rule set originally, I was like, nope, don't like this, doesn't make sense to me, I don't understand it.
Of course, rules are important in like a technical sense.
Yeah.
Because that's the way you bring in balance and fairness. And,
it's a reason to play with your toys. Again, I would say I'm not a rule stickler, but when you say house rules, my instant reaction is, no. It's bad, isn't it? But I'm like, no. Yeah, for me they are, 100%. Yeah. I would definitely say that for me, rules are 100%. If there's no rules, I won't paint it.
Yeah. What you'll find with like house rules is they appear when you need to call it.
Yes.
So that's the difficulty, because it will be at someone's advantage.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Sprue Goons Podcast with me, Dickie, and my beautiful co-host Darren. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Good. So, I suppose we better crack on with it, I suppose, what they're here for.
Yeah, straight into the hobby nonsense.
Yeah, well, to be fair, there's not really much hobby nonsense to go around. Nothing really new, same as last month. So I'm still cracking on with the Shatterpoint, and Darren's cracking on getting his house.
Cracking on doing no hobby.
Yeah, well, you're getting the Sprudio ready.
Yeah, that is true.
The Sprudio is
hobby adjacent.
Hobby adjacent, yeah. We'll talk about it in a sec. But yeah, so Shatterpoint really. I've just finished my 4th Shatterpoint squad. Luminar and Barris. Again, people that don't know Star Wars or Shatterpoint won't know what I'm talking about. But so that's 4 squads fully painted now. And I've just started work on Ventress. I'm getting bored of blue and green lightsabers, so I thought I'd do some red ones.
Yeah.
She'll be done before the summer holidays, because obviously the summer holidays coming up. So I've got 2 and a bit more weeks about 2 weeks now of kind of free time before the kids are off school. And then my hobby time will be drastically cut into pretty much nothing. But then that will give hopefully by then your hobby, you'll be
I'll be
keeping us afloat by then.
I'll be rolling by then.
So so get those done, and then that's it really. I've got some bit more scenery to do. You brought some scenery around, so I might try and squeeze that in. If I get Ventress done before the summer holidays, I might try and quickly airbrush that last piece of scenery.
Yeah.
And then, to be honest, we're kind of set up for Shatterpoint really, in the sense that we'll have 5 fully painted squads, not including any that you get done over summer.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get.
I'm
hoping to get a couple done really.
Darth Maul you've got. I've got him here, but you wanted to paint Maul.
Yeah, I think Maul.
You've got Cad Bane.
Yeah, Cad Bane. I'm really excited to paint that squad.
Yeah, it's cool.
But I've got. Ahsoka's one I'm working on now.
Oh yeah, you've got Ahsoka. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then Cad Bane, but.
You've got enough for the summer, basically.
Yeah, the Sabine Wren. It's not Sabine Wren, but the
Rebel Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
Well, Sabine Wren is in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone posted a picture on Instagram with both of the Rebels sets.
What, painted?
No, built and unpainted.
Oh, cool.
But
that's an army as well.
I'm like, oh my, that looks really cool as well.
Never seen Rebels. I've seen bits of Rebels, but I haven't seen all of it. But I think it was initially aimed more at kids, that show, but
it almost looks, I suppose, where they're younger.
Yeah.
It looks.
Yeah. I think the later seasons kind of matured is probably the wrong word, but kind of was aimed at a slightly older audience. And
I think they would suit like a more comic-y style of painting as well because of the animation style of it.
Well, that's where they brought in the Grand Inquisitor and all that. So the Inquisition squad, which is another squad I'd like to do, that is from Rebels. So Darth Vader and the Inquisition. That's an absolutely brilliant idea. Live Shatterpoint
with
discussion.
With an alternative Vader.
Yeah, not his beetle cape.
Yeah, beetle Vader.
I don't mind the rest of him. It's cool. The way he's lunging forward with the double-handed lightsaber, but that cape. They should have given options for the cape. Beetle or.
That's a good point. They don't do that, do they? Really?
They give
even in Legion.
No, they give a couple of options like helmeted, non-helmeted heads for all the clone like Cody, Rex, Pons. They all had helmeted or non-helmeted options. I think. Have
you got the heads, or did you throw them?
I think I've kept a couple, but then I threw a couple. So I don't really need these.
I'll always take a human head.
I've heard. Wait, what?
Could have put them on the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
All unhelmeted.
All clones.
You're fine.
No, my brain's gone. I was going to say something now. I've forgotten what I was going to say.
Options?
Yes, that was it. R2D2
Yeah.
in the Luke squad. I think he comes with the option to have holding the drinks or none.
Yeah.
So I would do no drinks, just normal R2D2.
We don't want any drinks on the
Don't want
battlefield.
any drinks on that. Yeah, what are you doing? Come on. Where have we gone with this? We're just talking about Shatterpoint. So yeah, that's it really for me. Shatterpoint.
Yeah.
I'm kind of. My next plan after Shatterpoint is we're going to the Arkworld Weekender.
Yep.
In October. So I would like to have a new warband for Arkworld painting. I've got my halflings, but I think I'd like to buy a new resin warband. I'm looking at the orcs.
Okay.
Orcs or the elves, which is a bit of a curveball.
Elves is a curveball for
I was
you.
thinking something a bit different. I'd like to take them to the Arkworld Weekender. So that's kind of my next thing. Once I've finished Ventress.
Yeah.
That said, I would like to get Ahsoka, Padawan, Ahsoka for Anakin. So there's some hobby, there's some things in the pipeline for my hobby.
Thing is, when you have your sort of 6 weeks off or your painting hiatus.
Yes, yeah. I'll be on Google.
Yeah. Normally more messages come through.
Oh, like you said before. Oh, Darren, I found this rare niche skirmish game by a Norwegian hermit in, it's like, yeah. That's what you'll be getting over the summer holidays. But that's me really. So you've been more house, isn't it? You moved, nearly in?
Nearly in, yeah. I probably won't quite be in by the next episode, but it will be
pretty much
really close.
Do you think we could film in the next episode in the Sprudio?
Yeah, probably.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think the Sprudio could be. Yeah, it could be.
As long as the Sprudio's done, no one cares about the rest.
That's essentially done then.
You could just sleep on the floor in
could
there.
live in that, yeah.
Sleep on one of the chairs.
Got a few bits to sort out, but yeah, once I get in, then painting. Basically, I've moved all my painting stuff in. So where I'm not living there, that's why it's hard to kind of.
You're not living there, so you can't do much hobby, and then when you are there, you've got other jobs to do in your house anyway. So it's like.
But I'm hoping to maybe kind of get there, and just the good thing is because I'm not kind of living there, I could go there and just paint.
Yes.
It's like it's dead quiet and
you wouldn't be able to get anything else done.
No.
Darren, have you built that cupboard yet? Have you sorted out the flooring? No, I've painted this Ahsoka.
Yeah. You've got no heating, but
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I've got a squad painted for Shatterpoint, so so that's it really. Nothing really.
I think so, yeah. You probably have noticed that kind of Instagram, it's kind of still kind of going, but it's content has obviously slowed down a bit. But I've got a lot of stuff like from your bits to share.
Yeah, and once obviously you are moved in, you can take all the Shatterpoint stuff and bombard people for the next 6 weeks of.
Well, I think I was kind of conscious that obviously when we're both painting, we're normally kind of painting. Oh, we're doing a bit of this, we're doing a bit of that, and I can kind of share like, oh, we're working on this. Here's a whip of this. Whereas because I haven't been doing much and all you've been doing is Shatterpoint, I don't want to post like 20 like, this is Mace Windu whip, this is Mace Windu done, this is so I think
we all know that the whips do better than the finished product anyway. Just do all the whips.
Yeah,
don't show the finish. No one cares.
That is true. They do for some reason. But I'm excited to do to post some properly thematic shots with scenery and bits like that. Yeah, that would be cool. Because you've got a lot of models painted, I think we could do some cool scenes. Yeah,
definitely. Especially when I get Ventress done, you can actually do them against an enemy rather than facing.
Duels and ones with like a couple of like armies facing off against each other.
Cool.
Yeah, I think I can do some good stuff with that.
So that's it really with regards to what we've been up to. But one little bit, I suppose, hobby nonsense is AOS, as of recording this weekend, AOS 4th edition's released.
Yep.
So we've kind of held off. We went to the demo, the event, didn't we, to play it, played Spearhead with Chloe and that, and it was great, loved it. I know Chloe's got a copy early and she's been really getting into it. She's been painting it all, putting it on Instagram, all looks really good. I think she took part in a live stream on YouTube as well.
Okay.
Hellstrom Wargaming.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I saw that actually.
The Spearhead tournament thing. I didn't know, I haven't actually watched it, but yeah, I think it's something we are definitely interested in, but it's a bit of a back burner at the moment. I personally would like to. I think all the rules now are out for download, so you can download all the Spearhead rules for each faction.
Yeah.
So we should probably download them, get the core rules downloaded, and then I'd like to order the Spearhead box. They do a Spearhead one, which has the Spearhead campaign box, the board, the cards.
Yeah.
You know, what we used when we played.
That's what we were saying.
Yeah.
We wish they did.
And they've done that now. Okay. It's not out yet. I think it comes out the week after the main game.
Right.
So that comes out first, and then, my stomach. Oh dear, do you hear that?
I thought it was a car going by.
No, it's my stomach. Oh God. I had breakfast as well. Yeah, I think we should probably get that Spearhead box.
Yeah.
So we've got the option.
Yeah.
We've got the Spearhead stuff. It's there.
I feel like it's one where we could be very easily persuaded.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because we really enjoyed it. One box, one Spearhead box.
Would you still be thinking Sons of Behemoth?
No, I've gone off that. I think I'd quite like to do the Maggotkin. I really liked when we used them. I liked their way they played. So I'd be tempted for the Maggotkin. I'm guessing yours would be Seraphon.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Cool matchup. And that Nurgle versus Seraphon, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Lumineth one's tempting, but
it's Lumineth. It's a lot of fiddly models.
Yeah. Maybe when I'm on a roll. When I'm on a roll like you are, I might feel a bit more confident and think like, actually, kind of smash that out. But
been a lot of flow state going on with me at the moment with painting. Like I said, I started Venturous yesterday late morning, and she's nearly done. I've done it to quite a good stand. I wouldn't say she's, not going to win any competitions, but she's pretty good. So she's nearly done. She should be done tomorrow. Then I've got the droids and the droids that come with her to paint. Yeah. And then she'll be done. So yeah. That's it really. I think that's pretty much all. Yeah, I think that's yeah. Like I say, it's a bit light on hobby nonsense at the moment because it's sort of in a bit of a hiatus. Well, bits of painting going on, but in terms of like content, so things that will be coming up are I want to do some content around the Monster Hunter box and models that Steamforge sent us. More Contrast Corner, obviously. Just kind of get that content rolling back out and obviously concentrate on the bits that people enjoy. Yeah, definitely. Right. Well, let's get to the meat of the episode then. Oh, there we go. So this is kind of not your topic, but it's something I thought up. It's a bit of a. I know it's primarily meant to be about painting, but it was a bit of a different thing. So we were talking about. I've been recently looking into, obviously, again, Shatterpoint. I'm a bit Shatterpoint focused at the moment. Been reading the rules, watching some battle reports, trying to get my head around all. I would say I'm pretty confident with all the rules now. I could teach someone to play Shatterpoint without the rule book. I'm at that point. But it was just an interesting thing I was thinking about, like rules in general for the miniature war games we play, and are they important? Are rules important to people when they play, miniature war game? It's not really. It's a discussion, but it's almost a question that I'm asking people. People, in the comments, and I could say, what they think, with regards to rules. But I'll ask you, Darren. For you, what is more important, a good rule system, or a good rule system, or maybe like thematic rules or models? When you look at a game, what for you is more important? So if the rule system is absolutely, it's tight, it's fun, it's easy to grasp, but the models are a bit crap, or the game's a bit, it's not very thematic, it's very gamey game. Yeah. Or would you look at a game first and say, wow, those models are stunning, but the rules are a bit crap? Kind of what would be more important for you? It's a difficult one, I think. And I think you almost want like a compromise. You want. So I think something like Legion is a compromise. I'm not saying the models are bad at all. I wouldn't say they're good models, but they're. Yeah, I love Legion, but I wouldn't say they're top tier. Yeah. It's a bit of a. Or Bolt Action, for example. it's a bit of a, with Legion, it's a bit of a kind of handover from FFG.
Yeah.
At AMG are a very good model company. Their
Yes.
models like Shatterpoint, their models are really good. And the new stuff they've released for Legion is really good. But you've still got some of those softer plastic models, which I know AMG are redoing.
Yeah.
Sorry, we've gone on a bit of a tangent about AMG. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so I think Legion kind of strikes that balance where the models are good, but also the game is good.
Yes.
Whereas I think, again, this will kind of divide opinion, but something like 40k, the models are stunning, but the game, you know, are there too many rules? Is
rules
it
that lead into
bloated?
rules?
Is it hard to learn? Not very accessible. The learning curve's quite steep. You know, so yeah, I suppose it does kind of depend on what sort of person you are. I feel like partly it's to do with like the community as well.
Yes.
So with 40k, I think if there wasn't like a big community around it, and you were really struggling to learn the rules, but you loved the miniatures, you'd probably sort of be like, "Oh, I'm not going to bother," because
100%.
there's not really
There's
the
no
community.
yeah.
Whereas I think what a lot of people stick with 40k for, you know, or Age of Sigmar, or any other kind of large scale game, is you've got the community around it. So
Thing is,
helps.
It's not a GW bashing topic. It's not, but they are the biggest in the world. They are the the big dogs in the wargaming like space. So you would initially go to them for kind of a gauge on rules and models. But I think with 40k especially, lots of people stay around for the lore.
Yeah.
The theme of the army. You know, I love Space Marines. I love Eldar. They love the background, the story, the years of lore that the models got. And for a lot of people, I think the rules are an afterthought. Not an afterthought, but they're kind of secondary to the game, the models and the lore. But obviously, there'll be lots of people out there now. Oh no, I love the tournament scene and the rules. But for me, I find, the models for GW products is normally what pulls people through the rules, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think so. I think you kind of live with a few. Oh, that doesn't really make sense, or that doesn't seem fair. And maybe, I know we've talked before, but again, balancing a game. You know, I wouldn't want to be the guy that's in charge of the rules for 40k.
No.
You've got so many armies and units to balance, and that's without even thinking of the lore.
Yeah,
you know, that does influence some things. You know, when we play Combat Patrol before, you've got your kind of your stratagems and your, is it stratagems?
Yeah, stratagems. Yeah.
Where they're kind of thematic, and that's cool because they are linked in with your army. But how do you kind of link it in with an army, but also make it fair and not massively overpowered? I think it's difficult. I think going back to kind of the subject of are rules important, I think it's almost kind of like twofold. It's sort of like, of course, rules are important for in like a technical sense.
Yeah.
Because that's the way you bring in balance and fairness. And,
it's a reason to play with your toys.
Yeah.
You don't. No rules. Obviously, there's people that paint models just for painting models, which is absolutely fine. But I like to paint. I like to paint models knowing that there's a rule system. If I want to play, I can play.
Yeah.
But for me, I think in 40k's kind of instance, it put me off because I found the rules the models are great, the lore's cool, but I found the rules a bit. I don't know. I just didn't like them. I found they were slow. It took us I know, admittedly, we were learning, but we had about 4.5 hours, and we didn't even finish a Combat Patrol game because we were learning. So I don't really hold that against the game itself. Obviously, if you knew the rules, it'd be a lot quicker. But it just felt like I just got bogged down with it. I was like,
I think it's when it's rules that lead to rules.
Yeah, you're flicking through a book, and God's sake, I don't want. What am I looking for? For me personally, I think it's. To answer the kind of question I gave you, for me, I like quite a loose rule system. I say loose, but I like quite a straightforward rule system.
Yeah.
Everything makes sense. There's not too much. You can learn it within, 2 or 3 games, if that.
Yeah.
And it's not much to remember. So you spend more time at the table rolling dice, enjoying yourself, than sitting there flicking through a rule book, which I feel is what you do with most GW games.
Yeah.
Whereas like Shatterpoint, for instance, because it's the one that's most on my mind at the moment. We're playing tonight. Well, I'm not playing. Darren and my brother are having a game, and I'm just going to sit down and watch and basically, hand out tokens and because I've learnt the rules pretty much back to front. I'll be the rules lawyer, so I'm happy to sit there and be like, yeah, this does that. This, obviously, you know the rules. John knows the rules, but there'll be certain things you're like, oh,
you forget, or
Whereas I find that was quite an easy rule set to learn. I feel pretty confident that I could teach someone from scratch to play Shatterpoint. Whereas if you said that to me now about something like 40k, or even if I knew the rules, it'd be like, oh, there's so much to learn. It's a bit like I like fluffy narrative rules over, a really complex rule set, which I know isn't for everyone.
Yeah.
But I would say either way, I would say rules are important. So if you're getting into wargaming, to have no rule set to play your games with would be a bit weird, I think.
I think so, yeah. I think, it's that balance, isn't it, between being able to be creative and have loads of fun with your mates, but also have a set of rules that kind of refine that fun and make sure it doesn't get too don't start arguing with each other over sort of
which we've done before with Legion and Cover.
I think the bones of contention sort of like Cover. I think Cover's probably one of the most
fiddly line of sight
in any game. I would say line of sight, proving where you get a little laser pen out and I don't think I could see him, and a lot of it is sort of down to how serious you are as a gamer. Can I see him? Yeah, you can see him.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, fine, that's solved then. Whereas I think when it's tournament play, you don't want people cheating, but I think generally we come at it from a more kind of relaxed approach.
And I think that's a very good point actually, because we're saying our rules important. We like a nice loose rule system, but there's definitely people out there that want the tighter rule system for that reason. Tournament play. I play 40k. There's a lot to it. It's very kind of, there's a lot to get into, but that's for tournament play. That's really good because it keeps the rules tight. It keeps the game, this can't do this because of that.
I think sometimes I can be quite a sort of a stickler for the rules, maybe to my detriment, but like I'm a sort of a logic first person, so it's kind of like when you're not sure of a rule, I struggle with that. When it's kind of like when it's like, oh, we can do it that way if you want, and it's like, well, is that the way to do it? I don't. We can do whatever we want. But it's and that kind of that brings me on to one of my points, which is, what do you think of house rules?
Again, I would say I'm not a rule stickler, but when you say house rules, my instant reaction is, no, that's bad, isn't it? But I'm like, no, I don't really like. That said, if there's a rule in the game which everyone at the table thinks is stupid, like, no, that doesn't make sense. That's stupid. We won't do that. What about we do this? And everyone at the table agrees with that rule, then I'm fine with it. For instance, I think there was something in Legion we did, and it was a bit like, we'll just say that. If that does that, then fine. I can't remember what it was, but everyone agreed. Everyone was happy with it. It was the dice. You remember with the taking the who goes first on the second turn, and we changed it from a white dice to a red because it was impossible to get. No, sorry, a red dice to a white because it was impossible not to get the double go first.
Yeah, it meant basically if you went first the first turn, you had to roll a success on a red dice, which is quite easy. To then go first again. Whereas I think we kind of thought, well, we want there to
and
be like
forth, yeah.
alternate turns. So if you roll a white dice, then
But didn't we go back to the red in the end? Because we worked out that it did make sense. It did, but that's fine. You know, we did it. We got
I
actually.
think it's 50-50 on a red dice.
Yeah,
So
which
kind of makes sense.
Yeah, which is why we did it. But it's that thing. You know, we
Flip
all
a
agreed
coin.
it. We
Yeah.
thought, yeah, that makes sense. That seems.
Yeah.
You know, I also think bringing it kind of round to what the original idea of this podcast is with painting.
Yeah.
Is I feel like playing a game to try its rule set with unpainted models.
Yeah.
Is like you've said a few times in the past, is a great motivation to paint.
Yeah.
So if you play a game, again, keep going Shatterpoint, but we did it with Shatterpoint.
Yeah.
We played it unpainted, loved the rule set, and thought, right, come on.
Yeah.
You know, 2 months later, I've got, you know, a whole load of it painted. Whereas I think if you play a game, you try it, and you're like, don't really enjoy this. It kind of can kill the motivation to paint the models because you're like, what's the point?
Yeah.
I don't want to paint this, spend my time painting this army to then realise I don't like the game, which we've done in the past. You know, we've spent hours and hours and hours painting an army.
Yeah.
It's all painted. We play it and go, oh, and then it sits in the cabinet because do you want to play that again tonight? No.
Yeah, and it could be things like maybe that aren't even related to rules, like I've painted an army. I actually quite like the rules, but the game takes 6 hours. So are we ever actually going to play it? You know, other things can come into that as well.
Which is a little bit like Legion. We love Legion. You know, Legion's great, Star Wars Legion, but we've kind of gone off the 800-point game just because it takes 2.5, 3 hours. Whereas we've gone to the skirmish level, which is exactly the same game. You have less points, so you don't get to use all the cool units, but it plays exactly the same, but it takes 2 hours max. Yeah. Max. You know, turn one, you're fighting each other. It's like, oh, wow, this is cool. There are obviously as well, there's some obviously like model agnostic rule sets out there, which I quite like the idea. Like there's Dragon Rampart. Yeah. And I always look at that. The idea, basically you can pick any models you like and essentially customize them to this rule set and play the game with that rule set. And the rule set seems quite cool. Yeah. Something I've always liked the idea of, but it's like I said before, I struggle to paint things when I haven't got a rule set for them. Yeah. Which is stupid. But there are, again, another game that we love, which has got quite a loose rule system, is Arcworld. That's got that really cool kind of, it's got a basic rule set, but I think even Alex's kind of, not motto, but Alex's idea was a basic rule set that lets you play the game, which isn't hard to learn. Again, we haven't played it for a couple of months, but I'm probably pretty confident. Couple of minutes flicking through the rule book, like, yep, let's go. You know what you're doing. Yeah. But it has a really cool kind of D&D mechanic in it, where you can essentially do feats. You can make up your own rules. You know, like I've got the Spider Queen. I'm like, I wanted to climb up those trees and jump down on your models, and then okay, cool. But we work out as a group how hard that would be to do, and then you roll for it and you apply the effect. It's a really cool idea. Things like that I really like in rule systems, but. Yeah.
I think something interesting that you just said before that as well was that you struggle to paint something if you haven't got a rule set for it. So in terms of are rules important for you?
Oh yeah,
they're
definitely
compulsory.
For me they are 100%. I would definitely say that for me rules are 100%. If there's no rules, I won't paint it. Yeah, sounds stupid. I know it's stupid, and like people that paint busts for. If you're painting for a competition, that's a bit different. But
I suppose. Sorry, I suppose with a bust, I think you probably could paint a bust because it's definitely not a gaming piece. Yeah. So it would never have rules.
You know it's.
Whereas if you're painting one that is
on a base,
it looks like a gaming piece, but there's no rules with it. It's like, well.
Yeah, definitely.
What am I playing it with then?
Oh yeah, no. For me, rules are they are part of the hobby, obviously, but it's more for me the type of rules. I'm getting a bit old now. I haven't got the patience or the mental capacity to sit down and pour through a 400-page book to learn how to play a game. Yeah, it's like no, I just want a nice, easy, rule set that I can pick up. Again, to be fair. Saying that, I can go all over the place, but Shatterpoint, when I saw the rule set originally, I was like, nope, don't like this, doesn't make sense to me, I don't understand it. But sticking with it, watching some YouTube videos, which I do recommend if you want to learn a game, because that really helps. For me anyway, I'm quite a visual learner. in that reading through the book, it kind of really
doesn't sink in.
No. Whereas when I physically see it happening on the board or on a game or on a video, oh, okay, I understand how that works. That. So, but now Shatterpoint is easy, a good rule set. There's a few weird rules on there which we always get thrown off by, like the secondary units being one unit, even though there's two models and they can act independently. But it's a weird rule, but it makes sense.
Yeah,
but
I think it's also, it kind of depends, I think, how often you're gaming as well. So like there will be people where they'd come to you and they'll be like, oh, 40k is easy, 40k is a piece of piss.
Oh yeah,
I know it like the back of my hand.
Definitely.
I haven't looked at a book in months.
Yeah,
but they're probably playing 3-4 times a week.
Yeah, they go to tournaments. They've got a club they go to.
They play the same army.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, 100%. And to be fair, we're kind of but we're getting there with that.
Yeah.
I don't even need to look at like Obi-Wan's card now. I know all his abilities. I know what they do. Anakin, we all know he hits twice. He can jump. He can deflect.
Yeah.
If he kills someone, he moves it along the track. I know what he can do without even looking at his card. So yeah, definitely, that's a very good point. That's a really good point. I do agree that this is kind of a bit of a subjective kind of topic, because for me, 40k, for instance, not GW bashing, it's just a good example, like I said, because they're the biggest one. The rules are too bloated. There's too many books. It's rules on rules, and I personally haven't got the patience or time to learn it.
Yeah.
But like you said, there'll be someone listening to this now who goes, "What? 40k is great. It's easy. The rules are, I love the rules, and that's brilliant. That's fine. I'm not saying you're wrong at all. I'm just saying personally, for me, I like a more narrative, thematic, easier to digest rule system.
Yeah,
it's a bit like bolt action. I've heard that's quite. You've played bolt action, and you've said that it's not too bad. But the rule book for me, again, that visual learn thing. I look at the rule book and I feel a bit sick. I've tried a few times. I'm like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I think it's because there's a lot of units. Again, a bit like 40k, but because there's a lot of units in bolt action, there's probably loads of rules that aren't necessarily relevant to learn.
Yeah.
So when I was speaking to one of the guys at Warlord when we went to Salute, he was saying, get the starter set and play with that, because you don't need to know all the rules. He was saying he doesn't know all the rules, for, there's this, thing that the Japanese get that you do this. And it's like, well, you don't need to learn that if you're not playing Japanese. Obviously you can learn it all, but I think it's that thing of being overwhelmed at the start.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
But I one of the things I wanted to talk about is I'd like to see a game with like a tiered rule system. I think it would be, I don't know if it would work, but I think it would be an interesting concept to have a game, say like Bolt Action, where you've got a basic set of rules that you can play, kind of like one page rules, but you've got a basic set of rules, and then you've got the advanced set of rules.
Yeah.
So it almost kind of like makes it more accessible, or maybe like kid friendly.
Yeah.
So you're like, you play Bolt Action. Yeah, you can play with my models, but you just have moving and shooting.
Yeah.
And this is done like this. We don't do any point blank modifiers or anything like that. It's just moving and shooting, just to kind of get used to the game. And
well, I think not to shut your point down, but I think going back to AOS 4th edition, I think that's what they've kind of done with that. Yeah. In that Spearhead is the basic rule set. Yeah. There's no magic. There's no. It's all on the card. What you do, the card's there. It's all there. Your downloaded thing, and that's all you need to play. And then if you want to play proper AOS, then you bring in magic and you bring. So I think
they kind of tried to do that.
Kind of tried to do that, which is kind of why I'm interested in Spearhead. Like we were saying earlier, I'd quite like to do Spearhead because I like the idea of just getting the board, printing out the cards.
Not as many models. The game doesn't take as long. Also,
I quite like for rule sets. This again, but it's all personal stuff. But I quite like having cards with everything on.
Yeah.
Like 40k again. What's my get codex out, flick through. What's your strength? What's your time? I quite like Legion, Shatterpoint, Arcworld has printouts. A lot of the games like that. Moonstone, where you have the card with all your information is there in front of you.
Yeah.
How does Anakin Skywalker work? Bang. Here's his abilities. Here's his combat tree. lovely. How does Obi-Wan work? Here
Yeah.
it all is. You don't got to go, oh, where's the rule book? Let me flick through. Right, okay, Obi-Wan, that I quite like it when rule systems do that.
Yeah.
They give you all the information you need there, so you haven't got to keep looking around 4 different books.
Yeah,
I think at
so.
UGW.
I think maybe that's something that's like bolt action is missing. Those cards, if they're cards like Legion, because it's I know we've said it before, but I think Legion takes a lot of its core rules from the bolt action, kind of way of playing. So I think cards would work really well in bolt action. You could make them.
You can make them, which is something again. If you're really into the game, you could. Like again, if we get in Spearhead, I will print out the cards that you can download. Laminate them, make it all. Tart it all up. Yeah,
I suppose with bolt action, the only thing is you do have like quite a lot of variations. So you've got like you'd have like a sergeant in a squad. So then he's got different rules because he's got a different weapon. So it's kind of like
So you'd have lots of cards. So that doesn't really.
With the rebels, you've got or stormtroopers, you've got a unit, and they've all got the same gun within reason. Sometimes you have. I suppose you could.
But you get upgrade cards that you just put next to the unit, don't you? So
which you could do with bolt action. Yeah.
So in conclusion, for me, yes, rules are very important, but it has to be thematic, digestible, and I'd say probably more on the looser side.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not, because again, Shatterpoint's quite a tight rule system, quite gamey, quite a bit of the exception to the rule for me, I think. But in general, rules are very important.
And in terms of sticking to the rules, I know we've kind of covered it a bit. We've been a stickler for the rules, but what's your thoughts on? Is it a case of once you've defined the rules, you should stick to what you've defined?
I'm a bit of a...
You couldn't be like, oh no, that's fine.
No.
It's like, it's either fine or not.
No, I would definitely say stick to the rules.
Yeah, that's sort of like, oh, well, technically he's in cover, but go on.
Yeah, no, he's in cover. Well, saying that, for instance, like the other day, me and John had a game of Shatterpoint, and one of my Jedi's cape, the point of his cape was sticking around the corner of a wall. Now, again, if you want to be an absolute arsehole, you could, I can see him because I can see his cape, but it doesn't actually work like that in Shatterpoint. You have to draw a straight line to their base, but he couldn't see me anyway. But you could get, like you said, that's a good example of someone going, well, I can see your cape, so I can shoot you. Fuck off. Go on, then shoot my cape, it'll just fly right through. But I think stick to the rules. What about you?
I'm definitely stick to the rules. The rules that you define. The hard things are where what you'll find with like house rules is they appear when you need to call it.
Yes.
So that's the difficulty, because it will be at someone's advantage, whatever you decide. So it's kind of this person going, oh, you're shooting me. Oh, that's a silly rule.
Yeah.
Where you're like, well, let's all decide it's a silly rule.
Yeah.
And then it's fine.
Yeah.
It's normally kind of the person that's being disadvantaged by the rule who is kind of then wants to start making house rules.
Yeah.
So it's like you say, it has to be agreed with everyone. And it's hard to do that and be like, right, before we play this game of Legion, there's 42 rules. Let's just all go through them and agree that, agree whether they're good or, so it does get to the point where you get into a game and you're like, well, that seems like a weird rule. And then that's when the debates happen.
Because again, Shatterpoint's got some weird elevation rules. Whereas like if you're on a gantry and they're below you, technically the person on the gantry has cover. Yeah. Or something. I can't actually remember that one because it doesn't really come up that often. Because
I think that is right, yeah.
They've changed the rules where if you haven't got a hunker token, then you don't get cover anyway. Yeah. So it almost makes it's irrelevant. Well, you haven't got a cover token, a hunker token, so you don't benefit from cover. Yeah, fine. It makes it easy because the other day it came up with John. I was behind a rock. Sorry, he was behind a rock, and I could see him. But he was like, "Well, have I got cover because I'm up against the rock?" I was like, "Have you got a hunker token?" He was like, "No." I was like, "You haven't got cover then." makes it kind of
yeah.
easier.
Yeah, it's like if you haven't got a hunger token, you're not hiding behind the cover.
You're not hungry.
You're just there.
Yeah, that's what it says because they updated the PDF. It says to benefit from cover, they must have at least one hunger token.
Unless you can't see them, and in this case, they're obviously
you can't see them. Because you can't shoot because you can't see them. So
yeah.
So did you answer the question? I can't remember. Are rules important?
I think they are. Yeah. I think they are. But I would say the harder ones are when you can't, as a group, you can't interpret the rules. Which has
happened when we're all sitting there on your phone watching YouTube videos and Googling it.
I find that difficult. I'm like, I don't care what the rules are.
Yes.
But I want to know them.
Yes.
I don't care if that rule means I'm dead, but I want to know that rule means I'm dead.
And it works both ways because you don't do it in our personal thing. You don't do it to give yourself advantage.
No.
You do it the other way.
Yeah.
I don't mind if I lose the game, but just make sure that rule is right.
Oh, 100%. You know? Yeah, if we're playing the game properly,
fine.
And that means I've just lost miserably.
Yeah, fine.
Fine, I can do that, but it's kind of I don't want to win bad, and I don't want to lose bad.
Or if you win the game, you don't want to be like, if I do this, it means I've won.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go home and then I message you and go, oh, by the way, Darren, we got that rule wrong. You shouldn't have won.
Like when I took 7 Mandalorians because I didn't realise how the points work. It's like, the Mandalorians are absolutely brutal.
Yeah, or Ahsoka's ability in Shatterpoint. Every time someone got hit, you were jumping forward and attack coming after them.
Yeah, attack with 5 dice.
Yeah, no, it's when they get wounded, which was, again, that was our fault because being damaged and taking a wound in Shatterpoint is different. We just assumed that when you took damage, she would rush forward and attack, but it's only when they become wounded.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Because it's an incredible rule. Because that's the only reason I found out is because I was Googling how the hell do you how do you deal with Ahsoka? Because she just, every time you hit someone, she runs forward.
Yeah.
No, when she wounds someone. Oh.
Yeah, I think as well, like, if I'd have gone back in time, I don't think we would have done that any differently in terms of, we looked at it, we interpreted it at the time.
Yeah.
And it happened at the time. It's almost like that kind of, you get it with like VAR with football. People say, VAR, it ruins the flow of the game.
Yeah.
Kind of the same with gaming.
Yeah.
It's like, if a rule takes you half an hour of arguing and looking it up, then you've kind of you want to know it, but at the same time it's like, well, it's sort of ruining the fun.
Yeah.
It's like, let's just do something now, then look it up tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely.
And if it turns out I shouldn't have done it, well...
Yeah, well, it's, again, I wasn't Googling that because I was annoyed that you beat me. It was more a case of, gosh, she's powerful. What's the best tactics to...
Well, we did the same in Zombicide.
Yes.
Where we were getting the rule. We had this mission where we couldn't beat it. It was a bit of a broken mission.
It is considered one of the hardest. Did Marvel Zombies this one? Yeah.
But
considered one of the hardest.
But
missions.
we were doing hunger wrong.
Yeah. When you had hunger, we were only rolling one dice.
Yeah.
No, you roll a shit ton of dice when you're hungry,
Yeah,
which makes sense because you're hungry.
You're ravenous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. We need to play that again. That's a great game.
Yeah.
We haven't played that. I need to paint that as well.
Yeah. So I think, in conclusion, I think rules are important, but I don't think they're so important that you should almost like ruin your evening over them. I think just kind of try and be a little bit sensible about it. Remember that you're trying to have fun at the end of the day. Unless if it's a tournament, obviously that's different.
Yeah, but to be fair, we can't really talk for that.
No, and you need to go in. That's on you. The onus is on you.
Yes, 100%.
You need to go into a tournament knowing the rules of the game.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you shouldn't be playing the tournament.
Definitely.
You're going to disadvantage yourself, essentially.
There are people who can go in tournaments and not really know the rules because, it depends what kind of level tournament you're going to. Yeah. I know there's been tournaments, like I've played in Underworld tournaments and there'll be people I'm playing and they're like, oh, I'm not, and I'll happily talk them through it.
Yeah.
Or there's a rule that I'm not sure on and they'll be like, oh, no, it's just, and they'll explain it to you. So it does depend on the level of tournament.
Yeah.
If you're going to a GT, and you're going to, the biggest one in the country.
Yeah.
Fucking get your rules down.
Oh, if you're going to...
Yeah.
No.
If you're going to a local game shop, Saturday afternoon tournament and the prize is a £10 voucher for the shop, don't worry too much. Obviously, have a grasp of it. Don't rock up. I've never played this game before, but that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that makes sense.
there we go. So, and as usual, we haven't really answered the question, but we've just had a little chat about it. So, same old crap.
Rules are important.
Rules are important,
but not too important.
But they are important.
But they are important.
Okay, so last part of the podcast, we're going to go on to
listeners' questions.
Oh God! When we get into this Sprue, you've got to make a little graphic up.
No, that's
like, little sparkles come out your hand or something.
That's a good idea. Like some sort of like 90s kids program.
Yeah, fine. That's brilliant.
That's what we're going for.
Yeah. I'll let you take the first one.
Because
I can't pronounce that name, so that's why I'm basically letting you do the name.
You mean you can't pronounce _NMDZA_?
Yeah.
No, neither can I.
No,
but yeah, thanks for the comment. How do I edge highlight without wanting to kill myself?
That is an absolutely brilliant question. When you figure it out, let me know.
No, I mean we had a little sort of discussion about this.
Yeah, because it's genuinely a brilliant question.
Yeah, it's a good question.
But for me, I would probably say, it sounds a bit counterproductive, but take your time.
Yeah.
Don't overload your brush. You don't need a lot on your brush, obviously. And only edge highlight, say the important parts, but for instance, if you're doing a Space Marine, don't sit there. It depends what level you're going to, but if it's for gameplay, you want to get the model painted to play a game, only edge highlight certain parts, maybe some shoulder pads, the knee joints, maybe like, certain parts of where the light would hit.
Top of the gun,
where the light would hit. Don't go absolutely crazy, because I've been there where you think, right, I'm going to go really do balls deep on this Space Marine. I'm using Space Marine as an example because it's quite a common edge highlighted model. But you can spend hours and hours, not hours, but you can spend a long time edge highlighting a whole model, and it is soul crushing.
Yeah.
So I would probably, depending on how far you want to go, but I would just only edge highlight in the necessary parts of the model, I would say.
Yeah, I think, and that is probably a skill in itself.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Probably a lot of people just edge highlight everything because they don't really know about highlight placement or anything like that. But yeah, generally the bits that the light would be hitting. Yeah. I mean, when you look at, I know edge highlighting is kind of the heavy metal style, but I know I've watched videos before where they talk about edge highlighting and the fact that it's not a realistic way to paint. Light doesn't hit every single edge of every single thing. So it makes the model look brilliant, but it doesn't look very realistic. So you could sort of kill two birds with one stone with only edge highlighting the bits that the light maybe would hit. Yeah. So you're halving your edge highlighting time, and also it probably look a little bit more realistic as well.
And I would say don't overload your brush, because if you overload your brush, you're going to get a big splodge on the edge of the highlight. You're going to have to go back over with the base colour. Yeah. And keep a good point on your brush. Yeah. Just the side of the brush along the edge. Obviously, I'm sure you know how to edge highlight, trying to teach you how to suck eggs, but it is a painful process. I don't enjoy it, and to be honest, I kind of avoid it where I can. Obviously, my clones on Shatterpoint, I've been edge highlighting all their guns, and even that's like, I hate edge highlighting, but
does make a difference.
It does make a difference, but when you do figure out how not to want to kill yourself, do let me know, because that's a skill. That's a genuine concern. That is a genuine concern. But thanks for your question. That was an absolutely brilliant question. Yeah. So the next one, Mark's back at it, above average minis. How you doing, Mark? He asks or comments, underrated, overrated, or properly rated, the new Skaven set for Age of Sigmar 4th edition. So what do you think? You probably know my thoughts on Skaven. So what's your thoughts on
Well, this is, when you said the new Skaven set, I'm thinking, is he saying Skaven Tide, as in Stormcast and Skaven?
No, he just mean,
or just Skaven?
I'm assuming just the Skaven. Or does he mean, does he mean Skaven? Well,
let's do both.
Let's do both.
So Yeah, I've been thinking about this, and I would say, I'd almost say nothing that GW produces is underrated.
No. If anything, it's overrated sometimes.
Yeah.
Some of it is overrated.
Yeah, so let's take that one out of the mix.
Definitely.
There's obviously exceptions to that rule. I could probably find some, but yeah, Warhammer is king, isn't it? You know, it's hyped.
Yeah.
In every sense. So yeah, the chance of it being underrated is slim. But yeah, I would say my natural feeling is properly rated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's overrated.
No.
Because I think the models are good. I think they're an improvement on what was there.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're, oh my God, have you seen the new Skaven models?
No.
You love Skaven.
Yeah.
So if they were absolutely stunning, we'd be getting it.
Yeah, no, they're good. They're I would agree, properly rated.
Yeah.
They're great. They're Skaven, and if you're doing the whole set, the Stormcast are great. Nothing wrong there. I like them. I like the fact you get all the spearhead in the box. If you're doing the whole set as a thing, yeah, I would say properly rated. For me, properly. I wouldn't say it's like you said, not underrated.
No,
but I wouldn't say it's overrated because it hasn't flown off the shelves. It's still available now. You know, I don't think it's like people are wetting themselves about it, but at the same time, it's got pretty good reception. For everyone I've seen online who's played Spearhead properly, you know, who's got the box and has opened it and played the game, they said that Spearhead, for instance, is really good. So I would say properly rated. So yeah, thanks, Mark.
Properly rated what on Skaven and the set as a whole?
Yeah, the whole thing is properly rated.
I think I agree. What do you think the most played army, the most popular armies are in Age of Sigmar? Because I kind of know them for 40k, but
Space Marines, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, mainly Space Marines, Orcs, popular Tyranids, but like in Age of Sigmar, I don't even know, almost don't know where to start. Like imagine Khorne.
Slaves to Darkness?
Yeah, Slaves to Darkness is probably quite popular.
I don't know. I don't think Stormcast are as popular as GW want them to be.
No. But yeah.
I don't know.
No.
That's a good question. Again, I'm a bit out of the loop on GW. In the sense of I obviously know what I've played Spearhead, I know all the games and all that, but what I mean is in terms of like the minutiae of everything about what's going on and what's the win ratio and certain, I don't really know.
I naturally don't see a huge amount of Age of Sigmar generally. I think Seraphine's probably quite a popular army.
Who doesn't like dinosaurs riding dinosaurs? You know,
exactly. I think that's probably maybe the most common army I see. But that's probably from a painting point of view because they look cool and painting videos.
And they're quite easy to paint if you want them to be as well, aren't they? You can do a lot of sap chop with them. And
Orcs, I suppose, actually.
Maybe Orcs of, oh my God, what are the ones in yellow called?
Iron Jaws.
Iron Jaws, thank you. God, see, out of the loop I am.
Tells you something when I'm trying to...
You're naming them.
Yeah, you got some down there.
Yeah, I have. Well, I haven't.
Yeah.
Brother has, but... Yeah, thanks, Mark. So the last one, Dad Mick. What are some of your favourite things to 3D print? I like custom terrain. My friend likes custom bits. Dad Mick, not me.
Yeah.
Well, this one's easy for me. My favourite thing to 3D print, and we've printed loads of it, is Star Wars Legion alternate models.
Yeah.
Darth Vader's, Luke's. You need to get a Leia. You still need to get a new Leia.
Here we go. It's back.
Yeah, loads of 3D printed stuff. Scenery. We've got all that 3D printed scenery for Legion that you painted. Yeah, it's brilliant for Star Wars, alternate Star Wars models.
Yeah. And we haven't even looked down that route for Shatterpoint yet.
We don't.
But I think, because the models are...
Yeah, we haven't needed to.
The models are good. And
maybe Vader.
And the scenery's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Vader.
Maybe Vader. Just because I don't like the sculpt of the cape. If the cape was not quite as Beetle-like, I'd be all over it.
Cape was just flat.
Well, I like the other one that comes in the Obi-Wan Kenobi set, but it's like £75. I'm not paying that for 2 models, he says.
Display piece.
Yeah, so for us, I would say probably Legion.
Yeah.
Also, anything from Alex at Warp Miniatures.
Yes.
All his stuff's 3D print. Not all of it, but a lot of it is 3D printable.
Yeah, we've had some wraiths and some gnomes.
And there's other things I'd love to get from him. So probably alternate sculpts and smaller companies models.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alternate sculpts for games that we play. I think if we got into bolt action, you probably wouldn't look at alternate sculpts for their miniatures.
No.
But we might look at maybe some scenery.
Down planes and tanks, that'd be cool. I do feel that when you're in the Sprudio and you're set up and you're up and running, I feel like you're going to be messaging me about bolt action.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like you are...
Big time.
You are pushing that... What's the word? You are pushing that... You're pushing that.
That's the word.
That's the word. I feel like the bolt action is going to be...
No, I think you're right. I think when I've got kind of like a board set up...
don't get me wrong, a World War II like 4x4 board with down planes and like, you know, hedges, and like we saw at the expo when they were doing demos of bolt action. Yeah, that looks brilliant.
And again, because it's very similar to Legion, I think it will be quite
I've got a bit of
an easy one.
A mental block on it, but I know that you've played it, you've got a bit more of a grasp, but I'm kind of a bit like we initially were going to do with Shatterpoint. I would like you to take the lead on the bolt action. Come on, your mug.
I think it would be like, right, come round, have a game.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll kind of, we'll model through it. But we have had a game at Selwick.
Yeah, but it's demo games are never really quite. You do this, now you do that, now this has happened, so you roll this. Okay, you don't really know why you're rolling.
You've rolled a load of ones. That's not good.
Yeah, well, yeah. So you're playing Conquest. You roll a load of sixes. That's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's. Thanks for your comment, Dad Mick. But I think that's pretty much it.
I think
another week done.
Yeah. Like I say, we've got a few bits in the pipeline, but it is going to be a little bit quieter.
It generally slows down in the summer anyway.
Weeks.
I think in general the hobby slows down a bit in the summer because obviously people are out on holidays or school doing they're doing things. Weather's meant to be better, but it's been a bit crap recently. But
definitely, and then kind of once I get the Sprudio set up, there'll be some contrast corner and other bits in the pipeline.
And a deluge of Shatterpoint shots. Another picture of Mace Windu.
Yeah, that's it. And then we, like you said earlier, we're going to the Arc World Weekender in October. So
want to get a nice new warband, shiny new warband painted up for that. I might take the Halflings with me, but I would like to have another one painted. Don't know why.
And then we might be painting a piece for the painting competition that they have there.
Yeah, might do that.
So.
God, I'm going to have to fit in some painting over the summer, aren't I? Oh, shit.
Even if it's just
half hour,
getting the model
ready
done,
to go,
converted, or whatever you're doing. But yeah. Well, thanks, guys, for listening.
All the usuals, like and subscribe.
Subscribe. Yeah, keep following us along for
Instagram. Things will happen eventually, honestly.
We'll let you know.
At some point. Well, the next time you see us, it might be in the Sprudio.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Fingers crossed.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
See ya.
See ya.